Today we are going to talk about how to model saliva. Oh god, what am I doing with my life? Not something that comes up quite often, but since I just did the squigs, realize a little bit of drool will help enhance the models. So we're going to need a couple things. We are going to need some gloss gel. We are going to use some fishing line. I tried two different tests and they both worked pretty much the same, so the size is not a big deal. And also, or alternatively, we need some cotton. Straight cotton, like those cotton balls you can unroll, or vape cotton. Process is quite simple. First thing we do is use a brush to put down some of our gloss gel. This is going to act as the base of our saliva and also as a glue for our cotton and or fishing line. Prefer to do this rather than using super glue or something else, so we don't have two different materials trying to recreate one specific object or spit. With that in place, all we have to do is add the fishing line into the position that we want and let it dry. We want to be fully cured before moving on to the next step. This stuff dries very slow, and the thicker you put it on, the slower it dries. So I put it in and I waited a couple hours before moving on. Once the base is dry, we can go ahead and start putting down the rest of the gloss gel. And we're going to do this in layers and slowly build up the fishing line. That helps with the drying time, and also the previous layer can help support the next layer, so you can spread it out a bit more, like this area between the two fishing line strands. I could slowly build that up and bring it out. And I think I did about 3 or 4 layers on some of these. Some I just did 2. I did whatever I felt looked best for that particular miniature. The process for using the cotton instead of the fishing line is basically the same thing. You just want to add a very faint few amounts of cotton threads and just apply the gloss gel. However, I found this, I didn't like the look, and also it's a bit more difficult to do because once wet, the cotton tends to clump together, and once it clumps together, it becomes white. Also, the look is more of a raspberry type of look rather than the drool look that I wanted. I did get better results with it when I was just testing out different ways to apply it, and I could see it working very well for a splash effect like on a waterfall, but for the miniature, what I'm doing here, I like the fishing line better, and also I think it's going to be a lot more durable in the long run. And that is about it. It's a very simple process. I don't really have much else to say. Just put on the fishing line and then flesh it out with a couple layers of the gloss gel, and I think it works pretty darn well. If you're worried about the fishing line being too straight, you can sort of kink it and bend it a little bit, or what I found out works very well, you can heat it up and then the fishing line will curl and you just cut out the curves that you need. As I was playing around this, one of my Patreon people, I have a Patreon page, information in the description, be great if you could help me out, thanks, asked me how to do spilled beer, and I realized you can use the exact same technique for that as well. Just exact same process, and then afterwards give it a couple layers of like yellow ink. So you can do different liquid effects or splash effects using this same technique. So yeah, that's about it. Short video, hope it helps. Thanks for watching.
Do is now I want to take a sip, and I want one of you guys to say something surprising to me, okay?
All right, Joel, I'm pregnant with your child.